Did the Cowboys just have their Blockbuster trade ripped away at the last second? Reports suggest Dallas was eyeing Maxx Crosby, but now that target may be completely blocked. Is the deal officially dead, or is this just high-stakes leverage behind the scenes? Some insiders believe the door is slammed shut. Others think this is part of a bigger chess match unfolding between front offices. Why would the path suddenly close, and who made the call? One critical detail about the situation could determine whether this is truly over or just the calm before a massive surprise. If you thought the Dallas Cowboys were about to pull off the biggest defensive heist of the offseason, think again, because what looked like a blockbuster path to landing Maxx Crosby may have just been slammed shut, and the reason why is going to frustrate a lot of fans in Dallas. Over the last few days, the buzz around the Cowboys potentially targeting Maxx Crosby started gaining serious momentum. It wasn't just random social media smoke. League insiders began hinting that Dallas had internally explored what it would take to acquire a true elite edge rusher to elevate this defense back to dominant status. And when you start talking about elite edge rushers, one name rises immediately to the top: Maxx Crosby. Crosby has become the heartbeat of the Las Vegas Raiders. A relentless pass rusher with a motor that never stops, he's the kind of player offensive coordinators lose sleep over. Multiple double-digit sack seasons, Pro Bowl-level production, and a reputation as one of the toughest defenders in football. Pair him with Micah Parsons, and you're not just building a good defense, you're building a nightmare for the entire NFC. And that's exactly why this rumor caught fire. The Cowboys have been in a strange position this offseason. They're close. You can feel it. They have star power on both sides of the ball. But they've also fallen short when it matters most. The front office knows that almost doesn't win championships. And adding another elite pass rusher opposite Micah Parsons would signal one thing: all in. But here's where things get complicated. Sources around the Raiders organization have reportedly made it crystal clear: Maxx Crosby is not on the table. Not now. Not for a first-round pick. Not for multiple first-round picks. Not for anything that doesn't completely blow their doors off. And even then, the answer might still be no. The Raiders view Crosby as untouchable. This is where Cowboys fans need to understand the business side of football. The Raiders are in the middle of redefining their identity, moving from instability toward building a culture. And Crosby isn't just a pass rusher, he's their emotional leader. Trading him would be like hitting reset on the locker room. From Dallas' perspective, the interest made sense. The Cowboys have invested heavily in their offense. They've committed long-term money to Dak Prescott. They've built around CeeDee Lamb. They believe their core is championship caliber. What they don't have is a defensive front that consistently takes over playoff games. Yes, Micah Parsons is a superstar. But as we've seen in big games, offenses can scheme around one dominant rusher. Add Maxx Crosby to that equation, and suddenly you can't double-team both. You're choosing your poison every snap. So what blocked the deal? It appears there are multiple layers to this. First, the Raiders' front office has no incentive to move Crosby unless they are completely overwhelmed. He's under contract. He's producing at an elite level. And he's beloved by the fanbase. That combination creates leverage, and lots of it. Second, the compensation required would likely start at 2 first-round picks plus additional premium assets. For Dallas, that's a massive price. The Cowboys have historically been cautious with blockbuster trades that gut future draft capital. Jerry Jones loves a splash, but even he understands roster balance. Third, salary cap realities can't be ignored. Crosby carries a significant cap hit. While Dallas could restructure deals and maneuver numbers, it would require financial gymnastics. And that limits flexibility in future seasons. Here's the part that stings the most for Cowboys Nation: the interest may have been real, but the Raiders reportedly shut down preliminary conversations quickly. Not because Dallas didn't offer enough, but because Las Vegas doesn't want to entertain the idea at all. That's what makes this feel dead. Now, could something change? In the NFL, never say never. But right now, All indications point toward the Maxx Crosby to Dallas dream being blocked before it ever truly began. And that raises a bigger question. If not Crosby, then who? The Cowboys' need for another disruptive edge presence hasn't disappeared. If anything, the fact they explored Crosby shows they know they need more. The NFC is loaded. The San Francisco 49ers continue to build through the trenches. The Philadelphia Eagles invest heavily in their defensive line year after year. Even emerging teams are prioritizing pass rush depth. Dallas cannot afford to stand still. Let's talk strategy. There are two paths forward. One is aggressive, continue exploring trade markets for high-impact defensive players. The other is internal development, trust the young pass rushers already on the roster, and invest through the draft. The aggressive route comes with risk but high reward. The internal route is safer but may not raise the ceiling enough. What makes Crosby unique is that he's not just good, he's transformational. He changes the geometry of the field. He collapses pockets before plays develop. He forces quarterbacks into rush decisions. That's the kind of impact that shifts playoff games. Without him, Dallas must evaluate whether their current rotation can produce consistently when it matters most. Let's also address the emotional reaction we're seeing from fans. When rumors like this surface and then collapse, it creates frustration. It feels like the Cowboys were close to something massive, and then it vanished. But here's the reality: many trade conversations in the NFL never make it past exploratory stages. Teams call. They gauge interest. They test the temperature. Most of those discussions never become formal negotiations. It's possible Dallas simply made a call, asked what it would take, and got a firm no. That doesn't mean the front office isn't trying. It means the other side has no intention of moving their star. And if you're looking at this from the Raiders' perspective, can you blame them? Maxx Crosby is 100% effort every snap. He embodies toughness. He's the type of player you build around, not move away from. But from the Cowboys' perspective, the urgency is different. Dak Prescott isn't getting younger. The NFC landscape shifts quickly. Windows close faster than fans expect. Every year you don't make a bold move is a year closer to transition. Jerry Jones has never been afraid of headlines. He's never been shy about making big moves. The fact that Crosby rumors even circulated tells you Dallas is at least thinking big. However, there's another angle here that deserves attention. Sometimes, leaks like this are strategic. When a team's interest becomes public, it can serve multiple purposes. It can signal aggressiveness to the fanbase. It can put pressure on other teams in trade talks. It can even influence contract negotiations internally. Is it possible the Cowboys wanted it known they were exploring elite defensive upgrades? Absolutely. Is it possible the Raiders wanted it known they shut it down immediately? Also absolutely. This is the chess match behind the scenes. So where does this leave the Cowboys? It leaves them at a crossroads. They either pivot to other potential trade targets, double down on draft investment at edge rusher, or trust their current group to elevate. What they cannot do is ignore the need. Because here's the cold truth in the modern NFL, elite pass rush wins in January. When you look at recent Super Bowl contenders, they all share a common trait: pressure without blitzing. If you can disrupt quarterbacks with 4 rushers, your secondary becomes exponentially more effective. That's what Crosby would have amplified in Dallas. And that's why this rumor hurts. But sometimes, the deals that don't happen tell you as much as the ones that do. The Cowboys showing interest in Maxx Crosby signals ambition. It signals awareness. It signals that the front office understands this team needs one more punch on defense to truly compete at the highest level. Even if the Crosby deal is dead, the mindset behind it matters. Now the pressure shifts. If Dallas doesn't land a major defensive addition before the season, fans will look back at this moment and ask what else was available. If they do land someone impactful, this Crosby saga becomes the catalyst that pushed them in that direction. The NFL offseason is never linear. One blocked path often opens another. But for now, it appears the dream pairing of Micah Parsons and Maxx Crosby will remain exactly that, a dream. And Cowboys fans are left wondering what bold move comes next. Because make no mistake, standing pat won't be enough. The clock is ticking. The NFC isn't waiting. And if Dallas truly wants to break through, they'll need to find another way to unleash a defensive storm. So buckle up, Cowboys Nation. This story might be closed for now, but the offseason drama is far from over.